Everyone, it's Aaron from Got a Minute. Thought I'd go for a walk and take you with me, and instead of showing you charts and graphs and papers, just thought I'd talk with you openly on the walk. So I'm expecting Jesus any time now. Hopefully he's coming this year. Hopefully he's coming this month. We don't know. But Passover has passed, and so I'm just going to talk about second Passover primarily, and just a reminder or just a moment of notice. I'm going to be doing a live stream with Brother John on Watchmen for that Great Day channel. I think it's 2 p.m. EST today. So what day is it today? I think it's May 1st, 2024, that kind of thing. So reasons why I like second Passover, just talking off the top of my mind, and maybe we'll do a live stream and get more detailed and show you more information. But second Passover, you can find it in Numbers chapter 9, and it's not in Leviticus 23. It's not in the standard feasts of the Lord that are spoken of, which are, unleavened bread and Passover and Feast of Weeks and Feast of Trumpets and Tabernacles. But there's this word called mikra in Hebrew, and I believe the Strong's is 4744, H4744, and it's a mikra, which means it's a convocation. The English word is convocation, and what you'll see is it's a gathering of people, it's a calling of an assembly. And so we see this word mikra. You don't see this word too often in the Bible, but it is found in the area where it's talking about second Passover. It's found in Numbers chapter 10. So Numbers 9 is talking about some of the details of second Passover, but then in Numbers chapter 10, it's talking about calling an assembly, calling people together into an assembly. And so what is second Passover, and why do we care, and could it be a rapture day? And I think that, of course, it could be a rapture day. So second Passover was instituted really by man. It wasn't so much instituted by God. It was God's response to man. So in Numbers 9, some of the Israelites go to Moses and they say, "Moses, look, we couldn't make the Passover, so how do we make this right?" And so Moses said, "Okay, let me talk to God." And Moses goes, "Okay, God, I got an answer. If you've been defiled by a dead person and you couldn't make Passover, or you were on a long journey, well, then we'll institute this other thing called second Passover, and that's going to be on the 14th day of the second month. The 14th day of the second month." So they were happy about that. They were happy that they could actually celebrate Passover if they were defiled by a dead person, or they were on a long journey. And so there's a verse in Proverbs that talks about how the good man is going to return after he's been on a long journey. Some translations will say the full moon. Some translations will say the new moon. Either way, it's talking about a moon. And the next full moon is May 22nd, 2024, May 23rd. Of course, I always say that I never know if this will be a rapture day, but that is when second Passover would be. So there are some neat things in the stars that day. The moon is in Libra, which represents judgment. The Venus and Jupiter in conjunction, right in Taurus there. So lots of cool things that we can talk about. But the cool thing about second Passover is it was instituted by man wanting to do what was right, because they missed initial Passover. The other feasts were just the feast of the Lord saying, "Tell my people that this is what I want them to do all the time." But second Passover was humans saying, "How do we make this right? How do we connect with God?" So it's very special. Convocation, and again, that Hebrew word is mikra. It's a very special mikra. And we also find in Numbers 10 that they're to make two silver trumpets, and this is what they would use to call the assembly together. And we know that the archangel will speak with the voice of God, with the trumpet of God, in 1 Thessalonians chapter 4. And so we also have at the last trump, and we also see in Revelation 4 verse 1, the voice of God sounds like a trumpet. And there's a lot of trumpet connections with second Passover, and there's a lot of trumpet connections with really any convocation, any mikra, any time that it's appointed by God. But there's just an extra special connection with second Passover. And we see a little bit of a fulfillment in Exodus 16, where God rains bread from heaven in Exodus chapter 16. And it says that he rains bread from heaven on the 15th day of the second month. So it's basically second Passover season, where he does a heavenly miracle in the skies. There's a sky miracle, and it's basically on second Passover. The day after second Passover, he rains bread from heaven. Isn't that awesome? Basically second Passover. So when people say, oh yeah, no, that's already been fulfilled, it's not going to happen, the rapture's not going to happen, only Feast of Trumpets, because no, God fulfills. He's already fulfilled trumpets like many times. He's already fulfilled Day of Atonement many times. He's already fulfilled Passover many times. He keeps on doing it over and over again. So he fulfilled second Passover before it even existed. That's how cool God is. So he rains bread from heaven, essentially on second Passover. And then what I think Jesus does in the New Testament, in the book of John, chapter 6, when he's feeding the 5,000, he take note that it's barley loaves, and take note that he says, I am the bread from heaven in John chapter 6, after he feeds them. And then he talks about Moses, and then he says that he is the bread of life in John chapter 6. And then he later on says, you got to drink my blood and eat my flesh. And they're like, what are you talking about? I don't want to do that. You're nuts, man. And so John 6:6, a lot of them leave. Isn't that interesting? But I think, this is just a speculation on my part, but I think that Jesus fulfilled second Passover when he fed the 5,000 in John 6. I think that he's very likely he did it on the same day that God rained manna from heaven in Exodus 16. This is just a speculation. It's a hypothesis, but it was very likely in that season because it was barley loaves. And he's talking about Moses, and he's talking about the bread raining from heaven. So he's talking about a sky miracle. So we got a sky miracle in Exodus 16, which is basically second Passover. We have a sky miracle in John chapter 6, which was likely second Passover. And here we are as humans, the man on earth, and we're waiting. This man is waiting to be manna up to heaven. And so there are some just basic connections with second Passover, and here we are just waiting for the rapture and the escape and all this kind of stuff. I don't know if it's this month, this year. Nobody really knows. But man, I'm just reviewing the timelines a lot today, and yesterday I'm just reviewing and trying to find all the holes. And I really love the idea of Jesus being on the cross in 30 or even 31 AD. I'm not really loving the 32 and the 33s. And I'm just reviewing Hosea chapter 6 verse 2. And I'm just seeing that, it's after 2 days he will, revive us, and on the third day he will lift us up. And that's talking about the second coming, when he's just going to restore Ephraim and Judah. And if we add 2001 years from the cross, if it's either 30 or 31 AD, I mean, we're in the season. Now, nobody knows, I'm a human, right? But it's like just running the numbers, running the timelines and the charts and the prophecies, and like, man, ooh, feels pretty good. So yeah, my next appointed time that I'm looking at would be second Passover, and which was kind of instituted by man, kind of brought up because man wanted to do right, and here we are, Christians just wanting to please the Lord. And remember, barley, we're in the barley season. Barley it didn't need to be crushed, it just had to be winnowed. It would be blow in the wind, and that was basically it. It was winnowed. Wheat had to go through a tribulum. It had to be crushed to be separated from the chaff. It had to go through some punishment, if you will. So I think barley fits the raptured group the best. And so we're in the barley season, and that season's about to wind down. So my next appointed time that I'll be looking at would be May 22nd, May 23rd, 2024. And of course, I don't know, we can fly before that, we can fly after that, and that's where I'm at. So thanks for hanging out, guys. Thanks for going on a walk with me. I hope you're doing well, and get tight with Christ. Hope he comes real soon. I'll see you in the clouds real soon, hopefully. And until then, we'll be saying, go Jesus, go Jesus, go, do your thing, man, do your thing. Okay, love ya, take it easy, bye.
Hallelujah, I'll see